What makes you a good friend is when you tell your friends when they're wrong. Hey, what's up? What's going on, everybody? So yes, I'm doing Love and Hip Hop New York. We're almost done, actually. I think there's only I think next week they're not going to have it, and then there's like 2 more episodes, and then there are 2 reunions from what I was looking up online. Or it might just be, so I think it's 16 and we're up to like 14 now. So yeah, it's not that many episodes coming up. It's funny because I was like, I don't know, I was like really listening to how everybody was talking, and I'm like, yo, it's crazy how I hear like the whole New York accent thing, because I'm like, a lot of the things that they say, either I say it myself or a lot of people that I know talk like that. So it was just crazy to me because I don't know, I never really it's like, even though I listen to them, I never really took it in like that. I'm doing the recap in the morning because like I told y'all, my work schedule is kind of crazy right now, so I'll be tired at night sometimes and I just don't feel like talking. Alright, so let's go ahead and talk about the episode. So Safaree and Jacquae, they were having like a good time, enjoying St. Maarten, doing the whole, what are those things called, like ATVs or something, just like chilling out. And despite the fact that there's been so much devastation, which is crazy because I remember around the time of the hurricane, I called my brother to find out how everybody was doing in Montserrat, and he told me that it didn't really hit them too hard. It kind of passed them, but he was like, I don't think it was Antigua, but I think it was Barbuda really got hit hard, and he told me St. Maarten had got hit hard as well. I was seeing on CNN that they really got really ravished. Also, of course, we know Puerto Rico and the Virgin Islands. I feel like a lot of people, they tend to talk about Puerto Rico a lot, but they're not talking so much about the Virgin Islands. But the Virgin Islands got hit really hard, and they are also a U.S. island or whatever. Well, the whole trio, St. Thomas, St. Croix, and St. John, they're all 3 of them is, pretty much part of the U.S. Virgin Islands. But I feel like people kind of I don't know if things are going on in the background, but it just seems like they don't really talk about it as much. But I did hear that people are starting to be able to come back, so that's pretty good to know. And stuff like this does bring awareness to different islands, especially St. Maarten, because no one's talking about them really, because this is I think it's French and Dutch, so it's not a U.S. as far as I know, island. So now Safaree's talking about he been looking at JuJu lately because he need a girl that's drama free, not really about all that fight and stuff. He just wants somebody that's real, that's just gonna be down for him, a support system. But I don't know. I don't know how that would work. I think that they're more so good as friends. But I don't know. I guess we'll see how that turns out. Jacquae, he has a little discussion with Brittany about Kiyanne. I think it's Kiyanne or Kiyanne. I don't know. His girl. And Brittany says that she be taunting her online, and Kiyanne's pretty much saying the same thing. So when they all have a sit down, it goes left because Kiyanne is like, yo, you be talking about my daughter online, and she's like, nah, I don't be doing that. She was like, yo, put that on something you love. She was like, put that on your grandmother. She was like, I put that on my grandmother. She was like, it's alright, because she about to die anyway. And for her to say that, they both wrong, because they showed stuff where it does look like Brittany had said things about her daughter or pregnancy or something like that. So that's messed up, because you dead straight up lying and you putting it on somebody else's life. And I can see why Kiyanne would say something like that, but to say that and the person is actually not doing well and they've been in and out the hospital, that's messed up as well. So they both, I feel like they both effed up. They both was lying. They both was just some real effed up individuals. But Brittany, she ends up flipping over the table on the Incredible Hulk joint. That table looked like it was dumb heavy. She dead picked up the table, tried to throw it on the girl. That was a little bit much. So it was just crazy. And they was telling Kiyanne that she had to go. They didn't actually make her leave the island, but she had to, I guess, kind of quarantine herself for the night. But she was acting like a runaway. She was dead running on the beach. And the security came and they was just nah, you gotta go. And she looked like she was trying to fight them. Somebody else had to come. I guess she was able to bring like a family member or somebody that's associated with her was there in the background and was able to like calm her down, put her in the car real quick. But yeah, y'all, that was crazy. Rich Dollars, he was talking to his mother, telling her that he's been hearing you gotta listen to your body and this and that, but it's real hard. And he says that he was at a restaurant, he took his medicine or whatever, and then he started having a seizure at the restaurant. So he's like, you know, it's new, it's weird, it's difficult for him to kind of adjust to this new way of living. He's trying to do the things that are right. He changed his diet around and all that, but he's still having episodes. I mean, I know, you know, whenever you have something going on with your health, it definitely can kind of like, it's a learning experience. It's an adjustment. You kind of have to learn what your triggers are. You have to learn, and it's hard, especially when like you're doing everything right and then something just switches and it's like, yo, WTF, you know what I mean? And I've had those moments where it's like I've eaten right and just made sure that I don't eat this because I know I'm allergic to it and stay away from all these different types of foods, and then I'm eating something that I know that I usually don't have any reaction to, and I've had it, and then it just kind of like sets me back like a million steps because it's just like, what the hell is going on? I'm doing everything right, everything that I'm supposed to be doing, and then this happens. And it can put you in a depressed situation because you're so used to living a certain way of life. Now, then they talk a little bit about relationship, like him and his mother, and he talks about like the whole creep squad stuff and the fact that he was dating a married woman, and his mother kind of gives him the lecture, like, you know, you can't just blame everything on her. You kind of have to take accountability for your actions as well. And even though she may have said whatever she said, you knew she was still married at the end of the day. So it's not necessarily that you was deceived. You gotta own up to your part in this as well, which makes sense. I mean, you being a human being and being a grown-up, you kind of have to say either I'm going to do this or I'm not going to do this. If you choose to do it, you can't blame somebody else. I mean, she never said that they were actually divorced. She said they were heading in that direction. That was something she wanted to do. And maybe deep down in the back of her head, that's something she wanted to do. She just wasn't actually taking the steps to do it. And maybe she could have had no like intention of actually taking the steps to do it. But it was something that she was thinking about just because of the way that their situation is. It was wrong of her to play with his head, but at the end of the day, it's up to him to decide whether it's something he wants to step into or not. And he decided to step into it. So they was both wrong, right? So now Kiyanne, she met up with, With Mariah Lynn, and she told her what happened the other night. And Mariah Lynn was, you know, I actually was like, you know what, Mariah Lynn, you are doing the right thing right now. I can clap it up for you, because she actually told her, you know, I can't condone that behavior. I got to let you know, being a friend, that what you said was wrong. I mean, and I know that Mariah Lynn has definitely seen things with her mom or whatever, so she knows what should be acceptable to say to people's family and what shouldn't. And I'm pretty sure she knows how she would react to somebody talking to or about her mother or anybody in her family like that. I mean, look how she jumped over the table like an X-Men the other day when that other chick was talking about her mother, right? So now they all have like a send-away gathering, and Jacquae, he reveals that he was in Anais' room the other night, but he's like, rest assured, nothing happens. When she comes, they try to grill her too real quick, but she was on some nothing happens, and it happened, and if y'all gonna really like be doing this and putting my name out there, I'm not gonna be here. And she ends up walking away. Supposedly, allegedly, he tells everybody that they was just smoking hookah, just real chill. He was upset about the whole thing with Kiyanne the other night, and he was just like, you know what, like, I don't even want to deal with this. So she had to end up getting her own hotel room, because he wasn't even in his hotel room. He was in, I think he was in Anais's, or no, I think she was at, he went over to, I don't know, some stupidness. I think he went over to hers and then brought her back to his or something, because evidently he wasn't there when his girl came to come to hang out with him. And then when they went to Anais' room, she wasn't there. So she must have came back to his room, I'm guessing. Something like that. Mariah Lynn and Brittany, they start arguing again, Brie, and what's that? Oh, my alarm's going off. So it's funny because even when Safaree seemed like he upset, it's like funny, right? It's like you still don't even take him seriously because he got all upset. He was like, "Oh, you guys keep on arguing all the time. I'm done with this." But it just made me want to laugh to hear him. It's like some people, you're so used to them being like jokesters, like I guess they gotta like throw tables for you to like really understand that they're really mad, you know? But yeah, he was like, he's just like over the whole thing, trying to make some music, remix the song with them, and they was just like going at it. But then eventually they did have like a heart-to-heart moment where Mariah Lynn was just like, me and your mother went through the same thing. And at first Brie, she was kind of taking it the wrong way, but they was able to show her what Mariah Lynn was trying to say, like, you guys are one and the same in a sense, because y'all went through similar situations where your mothers was on drugs, but they got clean, and y'all both trying to like make a good name for yourself and come up and make a better life. So it seems like they squashed things, at least for now. The fellas, they get back to New York and they get together to work out and all that and hang out, and that's where Safaree put it out there that Jacquae was in the room with Anais, and Rich couldn't even be mad. He's just like giving pound, like, you know what, do what you gotta do, bro. It's all good. And then he tells him, like, once again, the same story. Ain't nothing happened. It wasn't me. And he didn't say it wasn't me, but he's like, pretty much, ain't nothing go down like that. Jacquae, later on, he meets with, but before that even happened, Mariah Lynn had met with Remy Ma to just kind of catch up, see where they at, kind of let her know that she's good with, what was that? Some type of fly. I hope it's a fly. I'm sorry. These just distracted me. It was like something, and I'm like, what kind of bug is that? I think it was a baby fly or something. But anyway, I don't know how it got in here. Unless when I opened the door or something. Anyways, let me get back focused. So Mariah Lynn, she meets with Remy Ma, and she just tells her, she apologized to this chick. They good, her and Brie. And Remy Ma ain't really like, she's just like, they apologize for now, but she gotta let her friends know sometimes, because she tries to be this ride or die friend even when it's nothing going on with her. And she's like, you need to let your friends know when they're wrong as well. That's one of the things about being a good friend. And you can't always stick up for people, because then you're gonna end up missing out. She's like, she don't really think she could work with her because that's like a liability. She's with Columbia Records or whatever, and she doesn't really think they would want her to collaborate or work with somebody that's super messy like that and always fighting. Like, that's not a good look for her. And she's not about to lose everything because she wants to work with this chick. She's like, oh, she's supposed to be about female unity and this and that, and that's not what's happening between them. And I'm like, yeah, I mean, I see what you're saying. You're talking about female unity, and I see how she's doing it. But I feel like she kind of did start it off the wrong way. But at least she's making a 180 and kind of turning it back around, because I do feel like the whole thing she did with Nicki Minaj was kind of like messed up a little bit. But it did grab people's attention, and it was able to almost get a collaboration without collaborating with the person. So, I mean, I guess I see what she did from a publicity standpoint. But as far as your message is going, it kind of throws a lot of people off, including myself, from the message that you're trying to send out with the whole female unity. It's like, you always have people like, oh, you're doing female unity, but you was bringing another woman down. But then I guess the counter could be, well, she was bringing me down for a long time, but nobody really saw it, because that's what she was saying in interviews and things like that. So finally, Jacquae, he meets up with Kiyanne after he's like running with the fellas, hanging out, working out. So he decides that's the moment he's going to tell her. And it looked like they was in Central Park, that he was in Anais' room. So he tells her, as soon as he says, like, he was in her room, she starts like with the hands, like, he's like, oh, you cold? You need some hand warmers. I remember when I used to sell books years and years ago when I was a teenager, we used to have the hand warmers put inside our gloves. I'm sure it's getting really hot too, because she was just like this. Like, she was about to dead punch him in the face. But she didn't really get too violent with him or nothing like that, but you could tell she was like real upset, and she's just like, you know, you got me out here looking stupid. What you doing? Like, you need to fix this. Because he's like asking her, like, what can I do to help, to change this around? I don't want to let her go real that easily. And he also says that nothing happened. They laid in the bed together. She was on one side, she was on the other. But I don't know, like, and he says that Anais showed him the pussy. And I'm just like, I don't know, like, he says that he curved it, but to me, somebody tells me something like that, like, it's hard for me to see in my head, like, you just saw it, you said, I put that away, and you went to go lay down on the bed with that person. Like, I just cannot see it. It just does not make sense to me. You know what I'm saying? Like, somebody, like, you would do a female with a banging body. I mean, her face ain't all that, because, you know, it's just not, to me. I mean, she could be beautiful to other people, but you see a woman with a beautiful body who shows you the kitty cat. Y'all smoke, y'all drink, whatever. Y'all smoking hookah, drinking. Y'all lay on two different sides of the bed and go to sleep. I don't know, like, you gonna have to, like, break down every single moment to make me actually believe. But even when you breaking it down, like, I don't know, like, I just don't see, like, I feel like you want to tell me so I don't get mad, but then you know that certain things is gonna, like, rock the boat and tip it over, so you trying to hold something back. So, I don't know. It's like, I'm one of those people, I want you to tell me everything, because if I find out, that's going to be 100 times worse. But then it's like, you still got to kind of be careful and tread lightly, because, you know, I'm going to still get mad. And that's what somebody told me. Like, my boyfriend told me that, like, you know, you be getting mad over stuff. It's like, you don't know what to say sometimes. And I'm just like, it's not that. It's just that certain things, like, I'm not stupid, and certain things, it just really gets me mad, you know? So I could see why she was like, you know, and then the dudes was like all running around, the rest of the guys was running around looking like idiots, and she was seeing them, she's like, oh, so this is a game? Like, you playing some kind of game right now? That's not what I'm doing. So that was getting her more even upset or whatever. But that's pretty much like where it ended. He's gonna try to win her back, so we're gonna see what happens with that. Alright guys, thanks for watching. Make sure you comment down below. Stay fabulous, live free, soar limitless. See you in the next one. Later.